You're listening to a new episode of Girl Down Podcast with your host, me, Aon. So sit back, relax, and listen as I unpack the uncertainty of my 30s, one episode at a time. Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Girl Down Podcast with me, Aon. And right now I'm on vacation in Orlando, but a topic just came up and I definitely wanted to talk on it. And I'm joined by my sister Paige, Andi. Y'all know who she is. I had her on a couple of episodes prior, and it was just really important to have my sister's perspective on here so we could just approach this topic from a trans woman perspective, but most importantly, a woman's perspective. But we about to talk about Benzino and Shauna Brooks. I woke up this morning and all that I saw across my Facebook and my Twitter is Shauna Brooks, Shauna Brooks, Shauna Brooks, Shauna Brooks. I didn't know what was going on because I was traveling yesterday and I was offline. I saw T.S. Madison made a video about the situation, but apparently Benzino is outed as being trans attracted, trans amorous. Benzino was also outed as being in an intimate relationship or situationship with Shauna Brooks. There's videos being circulated across social media where Shauna Brooks is she's recording herself on a phone call with Benzino, discussing their interactions and how he feels ashamed that people know and people are not gonna. Y'all know the story. This is not our first time at the rodeo, but I just want to have a conversation about how I feel like Benzino is handling this all wrong. And also, we want to get into some of the reasons because Shauna Brooks typically has the reputation for being a figure like in the hip hop urban model circuit, trans woman that quote unquote outs these celebrity men. And that's something that unfortunately is associated with her name. And I know just from watching her and her trying to transition into more mainstream stuff, that's something that she's wanted to get away from and she's wanted to elevate from. And I don't know her personally, but just from watching her, I know that's something that she's been working hard to get away from. And this situation doesn't help with that narrative, but I think my sister and I bring a nuance to the situation. And from my personal opinion, I don't think that this situation is necessarily that. Just from the video that I saw and just the interactions, I don't think Benzino was a date for Shauna Brooks. I think this is somebody that she was in an intimate relationship with, where they knew each other intimately. If you listen to the conversations, you couldn't tell there's a comfortability there, at least on Benzino's end. So I don't think this was a date. In my opinion, I do think this is somebody that she had a personal relationship with. And I'm not of the mindset of trans women, especially Black trans women, outing men. But I know all too well what it is like to find yourself in a situation with a high profile man or a man that thinks he's high profile, that loves you, likes you, wants to be with you, but doesn't want to be out, but still wants to put you through the motions of the relationship, but won't claim you. And I know the feelings that, especially as a woman, how that can always make you feel like you're on the losing end of the game. And there's always this pressure on us as trans women just to keep it together, hold these secrets, take this abuse, take the disrespect in public, because Benzino has been, he does have a history of saying disparaging things to the LGBT community publicly, but as a trans woman, especially as a Black trans woman, you just have to hold this all of these additional graces and this additional regalness, being beat up publicly, but still having to love and show up for these men in private, and not and just be perfect. And I personally know the toll that takes on you. And when I was watching the video, I just think Shauna had to do what she had to do, because she already knows she has this type of reputation where people are instantly going to think that she's lying, she's trying to do something for a come up. And sometimes those private recordings, those messages, those screenshots, that's all you have as a trans woman to validate that you were actually in a relationship with these men, because you can love these men, you can support these men, you can build these men up in the backgrounds. But when it comes to when these trans amorous, trans attracted men are put to the fire to acknowledge that, they'll treat you like you some stranger on the street. So I'm not saying that I would have necessarily taken this route, but I can definitely empathize and sympathize with why Shauna did what she had to do. Now, sis, I know I've been talking a lot. What are your thoughts on the situation?
Okay, so here's the deal. My thing is this the piggyback off of what you're saying. I don't
Girl, hold on, sis. Get closer to the mic.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
I don't think, just to piggyback off of what you said, I don't think that this was like a date hookup kind of situation between him and Shauna. I honestly do think from listening to the video that they were in some sort of relationship. And because she does have that stigma of outing guys in hip hop, I don't believe that this was it. And I myself have been in a situation where I was dealing with someone and it was pretty much a relationship. But when it all boiled down to he didn't want to be out. He didn't want to be out. And dealing with that, with dating a guy, it's very hurtful. And I just want to say this, it is not our jobs to hold or keep your secrets because you're ashamed of what the community may think, your family, your friends, whatever the case may be. And why is it is Black trans women? We always have to hold it together. Like you said, take the abuse, shut up, don't say nothing, and just get pulled through the ringer. Like, how was that right? I completely empathize with Sean.
Yeah, in this moment, and I know there's going to be some people in the community saying, why did you do it? I'm going to choose to extend Shauna grace that I'm pretty sure she doesn't get people extending her grace all the time. At the end of the day, she is a sister to me and community, and we've been there too much as Black, and we're going to be there again because that's just how the cards are stacked for us when it comes to dating and to trying to have romances. The sad reality is it's always going to be a situation where guys are going to be incentivized to keep our interactions private. It sucks. It's painful. I've had to get a lot of therapy to kind of unpack that and process it and just figure out how I want to move forward to live but it is very depressing. It's very depressing.
And they don't get that. The fact that you even had to go to therapy to deal with the trauma from dating men as a Black trans woman, that says a lot.
Yeah, it's a different level of loneliness and isolation, even when you have a man, knowing that, and this is not to the trans amorous men that are open and that are dating trans women openly. But I think we do have to be realistic that that's a small section of the status quo. The status quo of men, most of them are they're not going to be out and walking fully in their truth. Most of the men that we're going to come across, they're not going to have the tools or have the access to do that. So most of them are going to be on the DL or have the incentive to act in a DL discreet way. And the ladies, we bear the brunt of that. So I totally empathize with it. I totally can understand why she felt like she had to do what she had to do. And in this situation, I'm going to give her grace. But the main reason I want to have this conversation, we're going to put the blame on Benzino. This is my personal opinion. I feel like on Benzino's behalf, this was a missed opportunity for him to reclaim. He totally gave all his power up in this situation. And we have had so many conversations with these men who are afraid to be open, who are afraid to tell their homeboys what they think. Like if you listen to the conversation when he's talking about, well, people are not ready for me to be openly trans, and like you're 55, you're a 55-year-old man, and you would think somebody that is that age is secure in their sexuality, secure in their masculinity, that you would think you've reached a point in life where you're just going to do whatever you want to do and not give a fuck. But clearly for him and for other men like him, this is still a problem. And that type of insecurity, that is the energy and that is the space where a lot of these men that know that are attracted to us, know that they are attracted to us, know that they're purposely pursuing relationships with us, they live in that space because as soon as they get outed, then it becomes easy for them to be violent to us. And in this situation, it was totally a missed opportunity, in my opinion, for Benzino to stand in his truth and own his power. And I promise you, if he would have said, I like bad bitches, which we know that he does, and bad bitches include trans women, and trans women are bad bitches. This ended up you deciding to transition, no shade, that makes you a bad bitch because you're living in your truth. And all he had to do in this situation was own it, admit to it, and I promise you, it would have neutralized all the jokes. It would have neutralized the memes from 50 Cent. Like when you own it, there's no reason for people to make fun of you, or people don't have a one-up on you when you own it. But he just totally relinquished all his power in that moment. And now this is going to be a sore spot that people can poke at when they want to make fun of him. And no shade, Benzino, like it wasn't like you were this ultra masculine stand-up figure in the community. You were already a laughing stock because of your time on Love and Hip Hop. So it wasn't like, or even before that, when you were a rapper and your beef with him, like it wasn't like you were this ultra masculine guy that people had respect for. Like you were kind of already like a laughing stock, or so you being outed with this trans woman, this didn't do anything to knock your stock down. It was already pretty low, but I would have had a lot more respect for Benzino if he just would have owned it and moved on. And the shade is that's all these men have to do, because at the end of the day, whether you're outed as being trans or people perceive you as gay or whatever, you still get to have the privilege of being a man in this world, whether people know your tea or not. And as always, it's the trans woman, the Black trans woman, that always have to bear this brunt. And this is the same thing that I try to tell these men who try to be in relationship with me and be intimate with me, and they want to complain all day about, well, what about? It's like, do you not still understand that you still get to move in your male privilege? And we're the ones out here having to, and in the grand scheme of things, y'all have to give up very little. Like if people know that you're out as trans attracted, cis women are still going to want to be with you and use you for a come up and have access to you. You're still, because you move through the world as a cis het man, you're still going to have access to other men. So I just really feel like he dropped the ball to really own this shit and make it go away. Sis. how do you feel about Benzino's response?
It was very coward-like. Like
Mm.
he could have just owned up to it because now he really is the key. He's been a key since Love and Hip Hop, but he really is the key. If he would have just said, "This is who I'm with, I like or whatever," and that been that, nobody can hold that weight over your head. I think it is the most attractive thing to when a man can openly say, "Did I date trans women?" Yes, I do. No one can do anything to you. Like he's 55 years old. It's not like he's like a 25-year-old guy just getting into the industry like he the baby or somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
you're 55 years old. What are you hiding?
Right. Who are you performing for?
55?
With
Come
adult
on.
kids. Your kids
Come
is
on.
grown.
Come on.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah, it was just a missed opportunity.
it
I'm
really
not
was. It
yeah,
really
I
was.
was
He could have just said, that's what it is. And that been that.
right. And to the men that listen to the podcast, the ball is always going to be in your court to set the tone, because unfortunately, because of misogyny and patriarchy, like y'all are still going to have y'all still have a lot of power. So I'm placing the responsibility on y'all to get over it. You're just gonna have to deal with people. Some people are going to see you as gay for messing with the trans girls, and it is what it is. It doesn't mean that you are gay, but you can't change how people feel about you for dating the girls. It just is what it is. But you trying to deny it, you trying to act like it doesn't exist, you trying to shit on us, and for me, this is the reason why men that are trying to talk to me, even men that want to have sex with me, if you're insecure about your sexuality in any way, it's going to be a turn off for me, because it's just certain stuff that I'm not going to deal with. I done went through my fair share of secret relationships and now at 33, I don't hold myself to the standard of holding a grown man's secret. At the end of the day, I don't live my life in the closet. I am me. And when it comes time to tell my motherfucking story, I'm going to tell the full story because I deserve to. And if your name comes up in a story, it comes up, and I'm not doing it to be salacious or nothing like that. I'm doing it because I want to be honest, and I have the right to be honest about my story. And if you're that concerned about being outed or whatever, leave us the fuck alone. Leave us the fuck alone, because
I say that all the time. If you're not prepared to be out and open with your attraction to the trans girls, leave us alone. Or better yet, if you just want, if you want to keep it on a DL, you don't want anyone to know, then you need to pay for our time. How about
right,
that?
right.
Stop coming to us with this. Oh, I want to be your friend, and they kill me with the friend thing. And they want to date you in secret, and they want to do all these relationship like things with you, but they don't want to claim you.
Right.
And they get to show up. They leave us, and they get to show up in the world as themselves, and people won't even know that you're trans attraction or trans attracted unless you say it. And you still get to navigate through the world as a cis man, and nobody's paying any attention. And we always have to bear all the bullshit that comes with you guys, the abuse, all the trauma that you cause. Well, you can just leave us alone if you're not ready to be with the girls openly. Do us a favor and leave us the hell alone. If you have not addressed your
sexuality,
I couldn't even get it out, and I say that all the time. If you haven't addressed the issues you have with your own sexuality, leave us alone. Okay? Leave us alone. Deal with cis women. Stay over there with them.
Right.
Okay.
Right. Nobody is forcing y'all to come into our spaces and to nobody is doing that.
They gonna read you when they gonna read you when you ask them to do certain things that they don't want to do in the bedroom, and y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, but nobody is forcing y'all to seek out relationships. So y'all do it on your. So if you don't want to be outed,
they find us. They look for us. They find us. Whether it's our Instagram DMs, our Facebook DMs, they find us. Nobody is looking. So that whole, y'all trick me and this, that, and other, y'all be tricking these niggas. Don't nobody have to trick them. Don't nobody have to trick them. Let's keep it all the way honest. Don't nobody have to trick them. Because most of the time, and this is just from my experience with guys, they like trans women, yes. But you know where that also comes from? They're messing around with boys first.
Oh.
I said it.
And on that note, no, but yeah, if you don't want to get caught, don't do it. Don't do it. If you're that concerned, just leave us alone. Just like my sister said, leave us alone. If you're not ready, and no more, we're not building y'all up in private for y'all to shit on us in public anymore. It's 2022. It's a new day. And girls want to be in the open. Girls want to be in the open. Girls want to live regular lives. And why shouldn't we?
Exactly.
I want a man to love me. I want a man to claim me publicly. I want a man to stand up and fight for me. I deserve that. And we as trans women, we deserve that. And I just want to you young impressionable girls, it's going to come. Men are going to try to get you to be in these secret things. And I just want to let you know that you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it. And a nigga should be wanting to come out the closet for us. We are amazing loving partners to these niggas when they don't deserve it. They should be wanting to come out the closet for us and be open and public with us because they know that nobody loves them like us.
Exactly. But you know what? I feel that that's the truth, but they always shit on us. That's the truth. Nobody will love them like we will. But they always shit on the girls. Always. And I just think it's just so messed up. It's so messed up. Y'all have to do better by Black trans women this year. It's 2022. We shouldn't even be still having this conversation.
Right.
And I'm getting tired of it. And I'm getting real tired of it. Oh, they tricking us. No, we not.
Yeah, so I think we're gonna end this episode here. I see the sun is coming back out, so I need to go and put on my bathing suit and my bikini top, honey, and moisturize and sunscreen my body and get out to this pool, honey, and live my life. And live my motherfucking life in the sunlight. Sis, I thank you so much for coming on this episode with short notice. We are going to, of course, and we're going to lift up Shauna Brooks.
We sure are.
Yeah, that is our sister. She, no matter what nobody says, she is still one of us, and she's in community. And we get it. We get it, sis.
Shauna, I got your back, girl.
Right. And Benzino, do fucking better. You dropped the ball. Do fucking better. And also there's new episodes, private episodes on my Patreon. I will be uploading. I probably will upload the episode while I'm still on vacation, but make sure you're going over to the Patreon, honey. Only $10. There's 2 new episodes on there. And I will see y'all for the next episode. Bye, y'all.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Girl Down Podcast with me, Aeon. If you like the show, please be sure to go on over to Apple Podcasts and rate and review this podcast. Also, make sure that you're engaging with me on social media. Also, if you have any inquiries or you want to send me any questions, be sure to email me at girldownpodcast@gmail.com. Until next time, bye y'all.